It's a gray morning in wintry Florence, and I've decided to stop by one of my favorite pastry shops. This place is called Bottega di Pasticceria, and the reason why I love it is that the quality really stands out. Look at these marvelous fresh pastries. I can never really seem to make a choice. So maybe I'll just get a few extra ones while I sip a cappuccino.
A bit cold this morning, but at least it stopped raining because I have to walk over to Joy's jewelry lab. She's going to show me how she makes jewelry, and I know nothing about it, so I'm really excited. It's very close by the Ponte Vecchio, which is behind me. A thousand joys. Good. Okay, here we go. Look at this palace. Hi. I'm coming up. Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Come on in.
I brought you something. Well, us. I brought us something.
What?
Pasticcini.
Oh, aren't you the sweetest? Thank you.
Well, it was kind of selfish.
Thank you. Come on in.
So right now I'm working on this little custom pendant that's going to have 3 little engraved stars, diamonds, stars. So in order to engrave something, you heat this. You're gonna heat this up to hold it while I engrave it. So it's got this. It's called cera lacca. I think it's the same thing that they would do the like the seals on letters and stuff. You have to heat it and until you put your little piece in it, and then it holds, and then I'm going to engrave the stars in it. So something that is really important to me in my work is that I really try to do things the traditional way, the slow way. Like most things in the world these days, things are getting lost in technology. And technology is great, and there's a place for all of that. But for me personally in my work, I really like to try and do things the slow way, like they've been doing for centuries, to keep that alive. And I think it's really important, especially being here, because the history is so long. The history of not just jewelry making, but art in general, artigiani here in Florence is a really long history. So it's really kind of important for me to try to keep that alive. So whatever I can do the old way, I prefer to do it that way, which means that things might not be perfect. But I think that's what makes pieces special, because it has a little bit of soul, a little bit of my heart and my soul in it. Because unfortunately a lot of jewelry these days is being created by CAD. So
What does that mean?
CAD is where you do a design on a computer and then they print it out in wax. So, and then all it is just kind of finished up, and it's a lot of machine and computer involved, and I prefer, if I can, to keep that out of my work. So now this just has to sit and cool, and then that'll be ready to engrave in a bit. Definitely a lot of my inspiration is architecture, historic ornament, you know, especially living here. I get a lot of inspiration just by walking to and from work. A little iron work on a gate or a doorbell or a doorway, a little bit of a church, you know, in the church facade. I'm really inspired by just living here and the art here. And then a lot of inspiration comes from the celestial, the stars, this idea of man kind of always looking towards the stars and the celestial. I mean, we've literally used the stars to guide us, literally and conceptually, since the beginning of time. So that's something that kind of creeps into my work a lot, and the idea of light. Light is, and the light rays is really something I've been crazy about. Like, for instance, Fra Angelico, his paintings with the light rays. Oh my God, I could look at those all day. So a lot of my stuff has those light rays. I'm really interested in that concept. So that's some things that really inspire me. So I do everything myself, from the designs to the actual creating of the piece, photographing the piece and everything. The only thing I don't do myself is the stone setting, which is my neighbor next door. So everything, let's say, is in-house, and ground zero, chilometro zero, as we like to say here in Italy. So say if something has to have a stone set into it, then that's going to take a little bit more time. You know, it could take me a week to do a piece. It could take me 3 weeks to do a piece. It just kind of depends on how complicated it is. So yeah, I'm from the States, from a small town in Michigan, and after I graduated college, I wasn't doing anything with my art degree, so I decided to go back to school. And as I was walking down the hall to go talk to my old professor to decide where to go, I saw this sign for this advertisement for a school here, and it was like, you know, the clouds parted and the angels sung, and I just knew I needed to come here. And so I applied and got in, and the second week I was here, I met someone, and 21 years later, we're still together, and yeah, that's how I ended up here. And of course, you know, it took me a while to do this. You know, it started off slowly, piano piano, on the side. I studied and worked, and then slowly I was able to create a full-time job, and so now I've been doing this full-time for about 10 years now. So that's how I ended up here. And that's done because it's really, I mean, those are just tiny little earrings. We could now go down and do like the big guns. All right.
And that is that sterling?
So yeah, this is this is silver.
And like they're different shapes. Are these like
Because these are all
things?
scraps.
Oh, okay.
So I recycle all of my metal. So you know, every little bit is saved, gold and silver. And so I take once I've worked on a piece, and I take all the little extra bits that are left over, and then I come down here and I recycle it and I melt it down. And then I'm able to make wire or sheet and start over again.
Very cool.
Yeah, so nothing goes to waste. And this thing is really big, and I'm really short, so I have to put it on my shoulder. first I have to heat this up. This is going to be the container to hold my metal once I pour it in. This is going to give it the shape. So if I wanted to do, so this is going to be to make a sheet of metal. Whereas if I wanted to do wire, then there's ones that are like long and thin, and I could pour it into the long and thin one. Now it's starting to melt, to turn liquid. And once you get it to the right temperature, where there's no bubbles or anything, then that was it. So once I melt down the metal and I have this little ingot, then depending on the shape and what I need, this is for making sheet and this is making for wire. And it's kind of like a big pasta machine, kind of where these rollers are moved up and down, and then as I roll it, each roll I turn the wheel and make the rollers, change the roller so that it gets thinner and thinner. So then I just slowly keep passing it through, and every pass I tighten it a little bit. And then roll it through. So that way I'm able to recycle all of my metal. This whole bit of the building was actually bombed out. The Nazis bombed this bit. And so then after the war, they redid this bit. And then, so since then, these have been jeweler studios. So the gentleman that was in here before me was here for, I don't know, I think like 30 or 40 years. And unfortunately he passed away, but when he passed, then his family gifted this to me. And so this is kind of my baby. I'm very proud of this. It's kind of a beast, but I love it. So as I'm going through, then it's slowly getting thinner and it's stretching it out. And then of course, depending on what piece I'm making, then depends on how thin I need it to be. Well, first of all, obviously recycling as much as I can old pieces is really something I love to be able to do. And then, of course, then, you know, if I need more, then I buy it around here, and that's really great. Something really special about Florence is that everything I need is here, literally right here. You know, 2 doors down is where I get materials and tools, and across the street is where I get my diamonds, and 2 doors down is where I get my my colored stones. So it's really great. It's a really special place where everything is so concentrated, and it's because you know, Florence has been a center of goldsmithing for so many years, for so many centuries, that it's just all right here, which is really great. So obviously I want to make something that's pretty to look at, because since the beginning of the time we have always wanted to adorn ourselves. But not only do I want to make something pretty, it's really important to me because I'm a very sentimental person, and I really do feel that jewelry has a bit of the wearer's soul. You know, I want to create something that, a place to hold their hopes and their dreams. And you know, jewelry is so sentimental, like a wedding ring. It's always been this very specific piece to mark a very specific, important moment in life. I like the idea of, you know, not just making something pretty, but something to carry along with you, beautiful memories or the love of someone. So that's kind of what I hope to put in my pieces. And of course, as I'm making pieces, I mean, it's really, I'm adding a little bit of myself in there as well. You know, a little bit of my love and my soul goes into each piece, my heart goes into each piece. So that's what I hope in creating pieces, special little heirlooms to create and love for lifetimes. I only wear my own jewelry, which is great because I love jewelry and I couldn't afford all the jewelry that I want to wear if I wasn't a jeweler, so it's pretty convenient. Yes, no, I wear all my jewelry. The funny thing is that I don't usually have a whole lot of jewelry to wear because I don't have enough time to make it for myself.
I'm excited.
Ooh. What do you call pasticcini in English? Just like little pastries?
Yeah.
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 Pastries.
Oh, they look good.
I love these little guys.
I'm sorry you guys are not here, but we are enjoying it. If you guys want to find out about Joy's jewelry, we're going to put all the links in the comments. Please like and subscribe to this channel.
Cheers.